That easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Seven minutes after 11. And this is Jamsta singing for King Socrates. Really big shoes to fill. Those shoes are Calypso Stadium sized. So, yeah. Welcome to Voices. And Voices is brought to you by TDC, Flow, and Rams. And so I'm going to be It's going to be basically open mic. We're also supposed to have a guest in the personage of Reverend Lincoln Connor from the Antioch Baptist Church. So until he arrives, I'll just draw some talking points, things that I think you guys might be interested in. There was one particular story that came to light. As some of you would know, that the government recently announced the lowering of excise taxes on gasoline from 2.25 to 0.95%, making the cost per gallon of gasoline cheaper. And the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, they also provided financial ease with the granting of concessions and supplies for the upcoming school term. And the question has been raised is what's the source of the money to fill the holes created by these reduced taxes? And then this is something I've always said, right? My thing is, I feel like we should always know how things are going to be paid for. It's nice. It's always nice to get when these I know they're called in economics, sometimes they're called quantitative easing, and when governments give tax concessions to boost the economy and stuff like that. That's fine. But I think for the longest time in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have had a culture that successive governments have given concessions, and you can say they do all these giveaway policies, and you never hear how these things are going to be paid for. And I think that's a fair question. This is not me being political or me being overly critical. This is a fair comment on these types of things. I mean, if you guys follow regional and international politics, I always talk about this story. I remember we went to Barbados one time. I'm going to keep saying this until someone does something about it. And I think it bears mentioning. I remember on the drive from the airport, the cabbie was listening to a talk show. And Barbados at the time, they had just started. Actually, it was actually evident as we drove towards where we were staying. Barbados was doing some highway upgrades. And I remember as we drove, the talk show, it was after 7 in the night, I think. The talk show host, they were talking about the fact that the Barbados government had just announced that, okay, we want to upgrade these highways, expand the highway system, and we are going to introduce an additional tax which will go towards, it might have been an increase on an already existing tax. I think that's what it was, which would go to towards funding the upgrades for the highway, right? And I remember turning to my wife and said, boy, it would be nice if we could hear stuff like that in St. Kitts, where everybody knows what it is, what these tax increases are for, and how something is going to be paid for. I think it's the responsible way. It's a responsible way to run a government. Don't just do stuff just to keep your supporters, because that's part of it. Let's just be real. You don't just throw out concessions and do this and do that. And listen, when we got those $500 dividend payments, yeah, I enjoyed it, but I personally would have preferred if they had held on to that money, and maybe that money had gone towards, just for argument's sake, that money could have gone towards, let's say, building catchments up in the hills. It's always raining up in the hills. I mean, as much as they talk about drought, it's always raining up in the hills. A lot of water runs down into the sea, goes to waste. Catchments and dams further up in the mountains, it's expensive. That could go a long way to solving the water problems. Building out additional electricity load capacity. I can go on and on and on and on all sorts of things that money could have been better spent on. Hey, I got the money, I enjoyed the money, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Right? I liked it, but I don't have to like it, meaning in the sense that I personally, I know I'm probably in the minority. I would have preferred that that money was held on to and diverted to other things for the common good. I'm not saying that paying $500 doesn't redound to the common good, but I'm just saying. I feel like more responsible fiscal policy is in order, rather than governments lurching from issue to issue with a view to keeping your supporters happy. Right? That's all I'm saying. So if anyone wants to call on that or any topic, I just thought I'd throw that out there. It would be nice to know how. I would like to know. Okay, and even take, for example, even something as important as, for example, starting this month, government workers are going to be paid twice per month. They still haven't advanced a reason for why that is. Yeah, that's nice. Listen, these are two separate issues. It's nice to get concessions. It's nice to know, I'm going to be, my salary is going to be split. It's going to be split two ways. So I'm going to get paid at the half point of the month and at the end of the month. But please give us a fiscally sound reason for why this is being done, that this has not been advanced. Also, we would like to know how these things are going to be paid for. I'm not saying these things are bad or good. We would just like to see a fiscal policy that responsibly explains how these things are going to be paid for, what the shortfall might be, or perhaps you're expecting. You may even be expecting an increase in uptake on that tax, given the fact that usually take for example, we have VAT days. Obviously, people buy way more stuff on those VAT reduction days because they have to spend less money on VAT. So it would be nice to hear some reasons and how some of these things are going to be paid for. That's all I'm saying. Let's go to the phone lines. Voices, you're on the air.
Good morning, Jamsta. How are you?
Good morning. I'm cool.
Yeah, I quite agree with what you're saying there. There must be checks and balances, that is financial checks and balances. I'm also concerned about the same thing, at the point of reducing certain receipts from a government point of view by reducing the cost of living, yes. But at the same time, we are talking about increasing the minimum wage, and you do have a lot of minimum wage workers.
Thank you for touching on that. That was the other thing. Thank you for reminding me.
What will you have to make up? Where will the increases come from to pay for those? You have the auxiliary workers, formerly the PAP workers, hundreds, probably thousands of them. You have to increase something. So don't decrease something now to doubly increase later on. That is just fooling people, misleading people. So stick with what you have and plan for how you're going to be paying your minimum wage workers in the future. And not only that, when you increase the minimum wage, sometimes that threatens the wages of the persons just above minimum, so you have to increase them too. And it goes on and on. So it needs a fair amount of thought, and you just should not be doing things willy-nilly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, right. And that caller, my first caller, my opening batsman, made a very good point. Because it's you paying minimum wage workers an increase in salary that cascades up the food chain, up the salary food scale, because, as you go up a management pyramid, there's more a management vertical starting at the minimum workers. So let's say the minimum people are getting $500 a week, $2,000, and then maybe the people just above it, let's say $3,500. They're going to be expecting an increase as well. So yes, that caller makes a very, very good point. It doesn't end there. So keep your calls coming. 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989, and the numbers for persons living in North America. I hate saying persons. Number for people living in North America. 718-285-6984. I don't really want to get down into that that misuse of the word persons. I'm just saying it. Yeah, it gets misused a lot. So people in the U.S. and Canada, you can call 718-285-6984, 305-921-4619. That's a Miami exchange number, but we're in the U.S. You can also use that number. The U.K. it's 033-344-0065. Give me a call, and that was just one of the talking points I wanted to throw out there for persons to comment on. I'm awaiting Pastor Lincoln Connor from the Antioch Baptist Church. We'll see if he comes. He may come later on. That's fine. So other things in the news that you guys might want to weigh in on. I know that the Ministry of Creative Economy, that's the new buzzword for cultural pursuits as administered by a government, creative economy. So, culture, the arts, that type of thing. They had a press conference yesterday, and full disclosure, I really haven't been able to listen to that yet. I was really busy yesterday, so I know they had a press conference. As you know, yesterday morning we had a creative economy sponsored parent on Island Tea yesterday. Her daughter was actually accepted by the Debbie Allen Academy of Performing Arts, and the creative economy they were very helpful in paying for the airfare for the young lady to travel to Florida for the interview/audition. She was successful. She also, this young lady, her name is Alyssa Richards. By the way, you can go to Facebook. Alyssa, it's ALYSSAMG Richards, and you can see some of her work there. She was also accepted to the Berklee School of Music, a six week summer program, and I think now they're trying to raise money to see if she can attend that, because it's kind of expensive. But it's really great to see the creative economy actually supporting some of our artistic nationals in these kinds of pursuits. Let's go back to the phone line. Okay, keep the calls coming. I lost that one, but just keep the calls coming. It's 11:21. We're back to the phone lines. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning again, Jamsta.
Hey, what's up?
I want to congratulate you for your topic today. I think it's very timely, and this is where we need coming from voices, and even your breakfast show, because we got to know what's going on, especially in these departments and finances. For instance, the Marriott, the Christoph Harbour dilemma. These are things you, Jamsta, and other hosts must bring to the country. For many years, we've been going through this thing where we put public officials man down Church Street, and they say one thing when they're in a political restaurant, and when they reach there, they collect around the issues. We're not jam down, We want to know about the Christoph land. Where Douglas give the Christoph and these monies, and we want to know if the method that Timothy Harris was challenging them for these lands, if it's gone up in the cemetery. We want to know these things. I'm smiling you. We're not going down easy with you with these things, you know. We're not going to go down easy with you. Because you are these young fellas, and you all must understand that from this brought you come back. This is where we've been getting some political parties. And the cycle has to change. Otherwise, you know, my brother. Otherwise. Anyway, Jamsta, have a good day. But keep on the topic.
Thank you, Jamdo. Thanks for your weighing. So keep the calls coming. 466-0989, 762-0989, and 662-0989. Voices, you're on. Hello, Voices, you're on.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning.
And good morning to so my abroad. What we have today, open.
You mean, so you weren't listening?
No. I was doing some work,
you just cold call a talk show without knowing what they're talking about. Okay.
Well, like I say, I normally don't listen. I was doing some work where I could not touch the radio.
So you don't think you should listen first before you call? At least listen for 10 minutes. So you get your bearings, and then I'm not taking your call. I'm not taking your call, Carl. I'm not. What?
Debate any topic.
You can debate any topic.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, schoolmate.
Yes. So what's happening today?
It's basically open mic, but
okay.
You know.
Well, let me talk. Yeah. Let me talk some public and upliftment concerning the country and its people. I saw and I listened to Dr. Joan's Labour Party during the campaign that they would build a new hospital. Where those who are listening and listening to the news, last night they already picked up a site and China Tyson involved. We don't have access, Mr. Williams, and things. They haven't cleared the land, but showing land beyond the middle.
Wait. Cal, start over because you seem to be. Can you maybe change your position? There seem to be some
much better
choppiness in your reception. So I didn't hear a thing you said. So start from the top. Go ahead.
You hear me loud and clear now?
Well, go ahead and I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, I see
it's still happening. Can't you go somewhere else? Are you like around a lot of metal or like a lot of concrete or something? Where are you? I mean,
you're hearing now?
Yeah, but I'm still hearing some artifacts in the transmission that kind of eroding your voice signal. I don't know what's going on. Try it again. Go ahead. I heard you said they talk about building a new hospital, and then it kind of fell apart after that.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually gotten worse now. I don't know what's going on. Carl? Carl? Carl, how about Carl? Here's what I'm gonna do. Let me take a break. I don't know if you want to call back or you want to stay on the line, but let me take a break, and if you could see if you can move, go somewhere else. I think that's the best thing. Let's not do the same thing and expect a different result. So try and change your location and call me back. How about that? I'll go take a quick break and I'll come back and I await your call. Okay. So we're gonna go take a quick break, and hopefully we can get Carl to weigh in much clearer.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Basta!
We run things are run we.
Basta! Basta!
Living color, do it differently.
Basta! Basta!
Large and in charge, like for the party.
Basta! Basta!
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors. Best taste. Buster. Bolder. Better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster. Live in full color.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
So we are back, and it's 11:30. So we are back here on Voices, and the phone lines are open. You can call 466-0989, 662-0989, and 762-0989. We had St. Kitts Nevis Tourism Authority here this morning. They were promoting the new addition to Restaurant Week, which, by the way, gets started on Friday, I think, the 13th. And not Friday. It's on Thursday. I think it's tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. And the new addition is Grill Fest, which I think is going to be next Sunday at the Lawn at Frigate Bay. That sounds like it's going to be fun. They have apparently they got a lot of grillers who wanted to sign up, chefs who think they have good grilling chops, who tried to sign up. They had to whittle it down to 12, and they're going to be doing that next week Sunday. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm actually already thinking of not cooking that day possibly, and going to check that out. And they have it in 3 categories. They have fish, pork, and chicken. But my thought was, I raised the issue this morning. Our target market for tourism, they come from places where people like beef. So I thought that they would have had like a beef component, right? Because let's face it, grilled beef. I mean, it's meat. If you can grill pork, you can grill beef. I know beef is expensive. But here's hoping next year you guys will add beef because I love a good steak, and in fact, I often wonder why. I often wonder why our grillers, like I said, I know that beef is expensive, but I often wonder why they don't offer that option. I mean, so okay, you have 2 cases of whole legs. Well, you could have maybe 10 pounds of beef. Yeah, we know it's gonna go fast. Just try it and see what happens, and then just saying. So give me some calls, 4660989, 7620989, and 6620989. Give me some calls. In the meantime, since no one's calling, I think we should hear from our sponsors. That's what you get when you don't call. Okay, someone's calling. Voices, you're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning.
Carbon is not the first person either here or a caller calling to after program and asking them what is the topic. If you look at your when me ask you, saying that me not listening, there's a lot of them like that. They don't be listening, they just call in after random. And they know going on. Another thing, this 762 digital number that WINNFM does give out. I show it about 10 years or more. I just deliberately call that number because I know. No call about to that number. But you keep giving it out. Why you all keep giving it out?
Which number is this?
This 762 number, over the years you all keep giving it out, and you don't take calls. I started complaining. I called the office there, they tell them about it. It's a long time I've been talking about it, but nobody pays me no attention. You all just keep giving it out. You just stick to one all, like you don't want to refuse to take calls. Anyway, thanks.
Okay, caller, we're going to look into that. I actually didn't realize that. You see, we can't really tell physically. Generally, we can't tell by just looking at the phone which number is calling. So, yeah, but we're definitely going to look into that. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. Voices, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, sir. Yes?
Yeah.
You hearing me much better now?
Yes. Well, I heard that. Let's see what happens when you start getting into it.
Yes, I'm in a better location now.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Like I saying, they were saying that they allocate some lands and they going to be clearing the land sometime soon. They went with the architect, they went with the China head persons here, the Prime Minister and a number of persons. Now, my question is, before I retired last year, December, 2022, sorry, after the government, when changes was done at the hospital, we was told by the director of the hospital, Mr. Morton, that January this year, they would have started a new hospital in the back of the hospital. So I want to know why this is so confusing now. Because we was told by the director of JNF, Mr. Jensen Morton, that we would start a new hospital in the back of the hospital. Those areas behind there would have shut down and they would have go back in the hill behind it. Those of you who have gone where the first hospital was. And they say plans and everything was doing, that what he told us in a meeting, and they would have started January this year. Now we are hearing in June, July this year that they have allocated some lands and they are going to be clearing those lands soon, and it's going to take 9 months to do the plans for the hospital. That's what said and said last night. So it is very conflicting and things. Somebody ain't got the marbles right for this thing. The other thing is, right? concerning ZIZ itself, the radio section. We know they have been in lane sending home some of the folks who have been working there a very long time, and they're doing much overtime over the retirement years. But a number of shows was on ZIZ. Well, we know Uncle Mickey has passed. You want to tell me they can pick up they can get nobody to do Uncle Mickey show on a Tuesday night? I could give them a couple of names who will gladly come in and take a little contact with them, and one or both of these persons may even do it for free. Why not contact Socrates and let Socrates, Carlton, DuPont? Those persons have a lot of music and things, so we could keep our local show on a Tuesday night and ZIZ going and let them train 2 persons for a year, and then after a year you have these young persons who will fit in because, they're getting rid of the old, which I really support that. Get rid of the grandpa and the grandmas them and let young people get jobs and could pay their loan and that sort of thing and get their life moving and put a contribution to the federation. You have the other show, Frank and Candid. That has not been on for about 2 weeks now. We know Mr. Bradley up there too, and we know there might be plans to let him go. Why not bring in somebody to do that show and let them train somebody for a year too and continue Frank and Candid? That is no explanation to the general public why that show is not being on. And this is the disrespect they just do to the general public who serve you, who support you, who sponsor you, and all these things. You're not supposed to disrespect the public like that. The public is spending so much money calling these shows every day. And if there's a change, you have to give the public a little explanation. Right? And if these shows is done, why not pick up that people there who have the experience, who have radio? I think Socrates have radio experience, and I'm sure if they sit and talk with him, Socrates will gladly come in and do one of those shows. Carlton Jupan will gladly come in and do this show for them. Frank and Candid is just for hour 11 to 12 a morning time, Monday to Thursday. Right? Mr. Jupan also have plenty of music, so you don't got to go away go look the music. He don't have to go in the archives because he even got more music, some music that they don't even have. Lord, man, we miss these shows and thing, man. Bring in Carlton Jupan, bring in Socrates, sit and talk with them, even if you have to give them a little contract to do these shows and train 1 or 2 persons for a year and then move ZIZ on.
Let me ask you a question, Carl. So who's been doing? So it's been Jazzy D doing Radio Market by herself since.
Well, I have not listened for the last 2 weeks since the situation with Uncle Mickey.
Yeah, you're making some good points.
I have been very, very busy on a Saturday, and if you see, on Saturdays I don't really call in to evening all show there, right? Saturdays will be very, very tight for me.
Okay. Well,
right?
definitely
like
food for thought.
And Jazzy is being age too, so maybe she would be going soon. Who are going to do all these shows? How come nobody is in training to take up from these, to take the baton from these stalwarts of ZIZ?
Good point.
And this is what I just talk about all the time, the continuous disrespect of the general public. You have ministers, you have peers, and you have board members just come in and say, we plan to this and we plan to do that. Where's the discussion with us? What happened to a little town hall meeting? When you were campaigning, you were out there every minute. Come to these meetings. They actually do a ponging. Help me. Get in. I'm going to cheat you this. I'm going to do that for you. They get in, and then when they get in, it's a total disrespect. It's like you don't exist no more. It's whatever they throw down, you start to be treated like pigs. Whatever they throw down, you must eat and drink because you have no choice. No. Those days are gone, and we're not accepting those kind of treatment.
So,
no way, no how.
Carl,
Gone, so.
wait. Before you go, let's get back to the hospital. So, where did you say the new hospital is going to be?
Hello?
Where did you say the new hospital is going to be located?
What I catch it a little late, but it seems to be somewhere down there between Ross two buildings that they have down there. Seems to be somewhere off down there.
So, do you agree with that decision?
Of a new hospital?
No. I mean, of putting it there, because I always thought that maybe they would have just raised the old hospital to the north of the new one now, and put it back there. That's what I kind of thought they were going to do, but I guess I'm wrong.
Well, that, like I tell you before, that I retired last year. We was called into a meeting, and that was explained by the new director of health institution that they was going to use the back of the hospital, shut down those old buildings, and make new buildings there, and they were going to dig out the hill back behind there, and they was going to do new portion of the hospital. And now you're hearing that they moved down the road further, and they're going to be a more modern and upgraded hospital.
Okay, interesting. All right. So let's hope some definitive answers will be forthcoming at some point.
Oh, wait, one last thing.
Yeah.
I see Dr. Joe. I see something come out. Say Dr. Joe is saying that percentages of all ordered school materials and all kind of things. That's a normal process that
yes, that was
goes on any government.
That was something
annually.
I mentioned at the top of the show. Yeah. And some.
Yeah, well, I didn't, like I said, I didn't hear you. But here the problem I have with that. You have a serious water problem, which you claim when you was in opposition, you will remedy that problem immediately if you obtain government. You have been there 3 to 4 weeks short of a year now, and the water problem has gotten worse under you, right? People in number 8 constituency especially ain't having water for 3 and 4 days and that sort of thing, right? And you are talking about school closed for about 2 weeks now. You're talking about special and school things at the moment. If the people don't get water and they're in around, they can't get the special or the school things. So you need to really get some water problem fixed in number 8 constituency, because that's one of the major things Dr. Joe win on. The same St. Peter's Road, which all the candidates, them who win number 8, always say they're going to fix. Dr. Joe win on that to say he will fix that road.
No, you see,
we hear too little talk and nothing is said again about remedying that St. Peter's Road. And the St. Peter's bus stand, when are they going to get a place for the St. Peter's bus stand?
So where would you suggest?
You could give them enough down the terminal, there, in front of the market. They could take some of the CD, like what they did with Port Zante, and put St. Peter's bus terminal there. So you will have West Line, East Line, and thing, because 2 of the bus thing does be there. So why not reclaim some of the sea going across there and put St. Peter's bus station there, where it will be central for everybody?
Yeah.
Just an idea.
No, that's
remember
actually...
Memorize the advisor with totally free advice, eh?
That is not
not paying my advice them.
Okay. That's not a totally bonkers idea. Because, now that Carl mentioned that, I'm thinking, well, I mean, it's going to be more expensive if they have to do, the reclamation and all that. But if you did that, you could even say, for example, the eastern side could actually become, the existing one could become St. Peter's, and the one over there could become the other one, could take the place of this one for the West Line. So, yeah, that could work, but it probably would be more expensive to reclaim land, because you also have to consider the fact that you have to consider how much land you're going to reclaim, given that the ferries, when they park at the pier, they're going to require a certain amount of, real estate there in that area to maneuver towards the pier and that kind of thing. So, but interesting. Well, it could mean that you could also reorient where the boats can go parallel to the ferries can go parallel to the Bay Road as well. So yeah, it could be interesting. But it's interesting to hear these kind of ideas. I didn't even think of that. Hello, voices. Okay, we didn't get that caller. Hopefully that caller will call back. But like I had thought of that, reclaiming some land there, but I was thinking that land should have been for parking, right? Just general parking, especially to encourage people to use the public market, and it would also help with the parking problem we have in Bastille. But let's go back to the phone lines. Voices, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jamsta. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, giving God thanks, man. Great to be alive,
It is.
And I'm here praying for the rain.
Absolutely.
I was talking about Mr. Politics, herd of cattle, and all the animals,
Yeah, I was telling a friend of mine, I was telling him yesterday, we were out and it started to rain, so I said, well, we can't really, where we were sitting, it started to rain, so we had to move into the shelter, right? So I said, well, we can't really complain because we've been grumbling the last few months for rain.
I'm telling you, and I just say, Lord have mercy, when we sin, the poor animals suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I was even wondering if they used to have some water catchment system on some of the farms. So I was wondering, Mr. Politics get water for his cattle.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose he could buy, because even if you have these containers and it wasn't raining, they're empty.
I really would
now,
like
what
to...
I call about
go ahead.
this thing about taking tax and so off of the school supplies.
That's what I wanted you to weigh in on. Go ahead. Well, I don't want you to... not that alone. I want you to also address the concession on gasoline and stuff like that. But go ahead.
On what? On gasoline?
Yeah, they reduce the taxes. Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing.
No.
How about it?
What the program name where they give books in school? What you call it again?
Is that the self?
Self. I don't know if the minister or the government, past and present, if they haven't realized that more parents are pushed into the bookstores to buy. When was the last time that they refurbish, update, increase the number of books on the self program? You ever think about it?
When you say increase, you mean in terms of adding new books?
Add more books.
Mm-hmm.
Add more books. Because, you go down to any one of the bookstores, overcrowded. A lot of poor people have to find money to get books for their children. This self program was designed to take care of. So when are you going to give this? And the truth is, books also come in duty free, You know that?
They come in duty free?
Yes.
But does that apply
I think maybe VAT on some of them.
Does that apply to non-scholar books?
Non-what?
Like meaning like you're going and you buy a paperback or like a magazine. Does it apply to those?
No, I know the textbooks them.
Or just textbooks, okay.
Textbooks and I think exercise books and stationery.
The literature books and stuff like that.
Those books are expensive,
Yes, they are.
So I was saying to myself, what they should be doing or they should have done. I said doing because they just reach. Find out from the high schools and even the primary schools. Provide enough texts for the children. When we said we have this development thing under the CBI. I think it's National Development Fund or something. It is easy, you know. You allocate a certain amount of the money to education to provide the texts and the supplies for the schools. Because to say, well, we take it off. If you have the money, you can't buy. Or you'll have to divert whatever little you have. You know? So I hope they would have done that. Now, I heard something about laptops. Somebody gave the government laptops.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, no, I don't know anything about that yet, but...
I thought something. I heard them say that they already have the laptops.
Okay.
Somebody donated. I don't know if they donated some or all. Well, I don't know if they heard about... I don't know if it's Grenada or one of the countries where they... I don't know if it's Jamaica. What they were doing, because a number of children still do not have Wi-Fi or cable in their homes. Okay. I think they were connecting their homes for $20 a month so that the children could have access to the internet. The last time they did, they were saying $75. Now, if you're working for $340 a week, 75 is a lot, you know.
Yes.
It's a lot. And you say that this thing is in the community center. Are you aware of the number of persons attached to one community center?
Yeah, I see.
Your town has one, you know.
Yes.
Many other communities. One community center, thousands of people attached to it.
Well, I mean, I always liked one of the things that the previous government did. I thought was very progressive. I was pleasantly surprised when it happened. Was
when they put it in all of the centers.
No, well, starting with the fact that they designated cable TV and the internet as they thought it should be considered the same way you consider your electricity supply, your water supply, like a regular utility. It's not a luxury anymore. Yes, not a luxury anymore. Everyone needs to have internet, and I thought that was great. Mm-hmm. So I guess the natural evolution to that now is to find a good way to subsidize the internet so that kids in school
as I said, right in that country.
Yeah.
Because they have a number of persons all in Bastille.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we will go back to the same thing. We will give children laptops or tablets, but they are inconvenienced, and the parents are less able to monitor them if they got to leave the house to go someplace to get online.
Yes.
Now today, gasoline.
Yeah. Well, let
me
just read it so some more context. So they're lowering the excise tax on gasoline from 2.25% to 0.95%, making the cost of gasoline cheaper.
That is the tax that they would have paid to the government, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're foregoing it. But nothing is wrong with that. Because remember, up to now we're still waiting to hear how much money coming in.
Yes.
If enough is coming in. You follow? That's what I talk about, allocate.
So, to my point at the top of the show, don't you agree that... Okay, don't you think that there should be more critical analysis of some of these tax levels with a view to maybe decreasing some of them? Because I've always said I feel like there's some taxes I think are far too high, and I think they would actually probably not lose any money if they reduce some of these taxes, because look at what happens on VAT reduction day. People spend more. So reason says that the same thing would happen with some of these taxes, which I think some of them are nuisances and some of them are a little too high. Like, take for example, I am going to always go on about the $5,000 environmental tax. On the one hand...
Oh, you mean on the used cars?
Yes, because let's face it, cars are being built better and better. What environmental tax. My thing is, if it's an environmental tax, it should be going into an environmental, rather than going into the consolidated fund, it should be going.
Well, listen to this one now.
Because we know that's really not the reason why that tax was. Everyone knows it's an open
Well, listen to this contra action.
Yeah.
You bring in nothing and it is down on the street or wherever. They can charge you to have it moved to the landfill, and then they turn around and sell the metal or the thing to another country. Do you ever think about that?
At market prices, no doubt.
I don't know what price, but I'm trying to show you that.
I'm supporting you.
They actually recuperating whatever they would have think they lost.
Absolutely.
To 50 to have them move or whatever. And then they crush them and sell them. You see, what we lack in this country, I keep saying it, we lack a long-term development plan. Where there is no proper plan, you just move by women fancy. This constituency want that, and that want that, and that is how we move.
And there's a lot.
We need to have a proper plan.
And there's a lot of reactionary governance, I find.
Well,
meaning,
you got to forgive them.
Rather than progressive, proactive.
You got to have a plan.
Deliberate governance where you apply critical.
What we have is we did promise that.
Yes,
so when the pressure they come on the way and they say, well, what happened to the first? Then they jump up and do that.
Thank you.
But when they jump up and do that, sometimes more important things get left behind. They need to have, he says he has an economic group or something. They need to start working on a 5 or 10-year development plan. This haphazard thing costs more. It costs more than you won't have to be running around doing this and doing piece of that and piece of that. Then the nation would know in 5 years' time we expect to have this. So you won't have any minister of government pressuring the Ministry of Finance to finance things for them to make them look good.
Yes.
You know, so, and by the way, while they're doing that, the boss men said they want a raise. How do you balance out that?
Okay, it's midday. I invite you to call back after the news.
Yeah, and think about it. Think about
yes,
the boss
absolutely.
raise.
Yes. Well, you need to come back and talk. You can kickstart the
other people
conversation. At least, no, I mean, you come back, kickstart the conversation on that, and then we take it from there.
All right then.
Okay, your input and insights are always welcome. All right. News time. It is 12 o'clock, and we head to the headline news.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories: use of cell phones is a contributing factor to low-quality customer service on the island of Nevis, says Minister Brand. Sugar Mass 52 calendar expected soon. Carnival director says stakeholder meetings to start shortly. Nevis to host Caribbean Tourism Organization's 10th Tourism Human Resources Conference. St. Lucia's 2.5% health and security levy will come into effect on August 2nd, despite opposition calls for it to be scrapped. Internationally, migrants in Tunisia have been attacked after the fatal stabbing of a 41-year-old local man during an altercation with several migrants from sub-Saharan Africa. Now the details. Customer service on the island of Nevis is not where it should be, and according to the minister responsible for Labour, Spencer Brand, the use of cell phones is one of the prime reasons for the display of unprofessionalism in the workplace. During his appearance on the Tuesday, July 11th edition of Talk That Get Results on Von Radio, Minister Brand informed that customer service was one of the topics discussed during the Nevis Career Fair 2023. The career fair was held over a period of 2 days, Monday, July 10th and Tuesday, July 11th, an initiative spearheaded by the Department of Labour on Nevis.
The Nevis Labour Department held a career fair over the last 2 days. Started yesterday and concluded today. And one of the areas was customer service. And that area, Weber, was highlighted because based on the interaction and feedback from the Nevis Labour Department, the customer service on the island of Nevis is not where it should be. It can be a lot better. They have expressed that for better customer service, that the various businesses and government departments, service providers, they really have to step up their game.
The use of mobile phones was identified as a contributing factor to the quality of customer service in Nevis.
So this thing we call a cell phone, this piece of gadget here that we call a cell phone, it is creating some issues as it regards to the quality of customer service here on the island of Nevis. People seems to be very much distracted in their work environment with the telephone. That was highlighted, and it appears to be creating some distraction, and the level of the high level of attention that one really should be giving their customer is oftentimes sadly distracted by the cell phone. The desire to give of one's very best. I think someone highlighted that there is this kind of lackadaisical attitude and approach to work in general, and I think also that creates a kind of diminished quality of service.
According to Brand, the session on customer service was facilitated by a representative from the Bank of Nevis. Quote, "We solicited the advice and expert presentation from the customer representative from the Bank of Nevis, and he outlined to these young people what are some of the areas and what are some of the tenets of good customer service," end quote. Minister Brand is hopeful that the discussions from the career fair will spread throughout the island and help to raise the standard of customer service in Nevis.
I am hoping, Webo, that we are here tonight, and based on what would have happened yesterday at that career fair, that we can get the message out to our people that the level of service that we offer can make a world of difference to an individual. They may not necessarily get the answer that they want. They may not necessarily get the result that they were looking for. But I believe that the level of professionalism and the quality of the customer service can make a world of difference. And I think that is something that as a developing island, as an island that is, in my mind, a service-oriented island, that we really have to take a good look at it. We really have to take a hard look at it and see how best we can improve it.
A caller to Talk That Get Results agreed that cell phones have affected professionalism in the country. She posed some questions that she believes the whole society should pay attention to.
This is a very interesting topic and a very timely topic that, in my estimation, should have happened a long, long time ago. As I listen to Mr. Brand, I am wondering, and he's right, the cell phone is a big issue, but what are the rules in the workplace? Aren't the employees supposed to put away their cell phones once their shift starts? Why do they have the cell phone on in the first place? Is the cell phone one of the instruments that they use for work? Who is supervising? The other thing is, what happens when a person is employed at a business place? Because it seems to me when an employee comes on board, in a lot of instances, they're just thrown in. They're not trained. They're not talked to about expectations. They're not talked to about how to handle. And they may be coming from an environment where they have no experience. So where are we starting? What do we do? It would seem to me that some of these things can be taught in the schools. Some of them can be taught in the home. I learned to answer a phone in my home. My parents taught me how to answer a phone and sound professional. I didn't learn that on the job. When I got to the job dictated to me what I should say, but not how to say it, because I already knew how to say it. And those are some of the things that we have to pay close attention to.
Career Fair 2023 was held under the theme Shape Your Future Career Fair and Training Expo. Other areas covered at the career fair included resume and cover letter writing, financial literacy, and vocational training and certification. We are halfway through the year. Nevis Culturama 49 is in full swing, and the next biggest event for the Federation is Sugar Mass 52. Former Calypsonian organizer, judge, commentator, and host of All Things Carnival, Clement Monarch Agaro on Wynn's Voices, said plans for Sugar Mass 52 should be released at the end of July 2023. The new director of Carnival for the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Secretariat, Ogaro, who is responsible for overseeing the administration of the National Carnival Secretariat, said the calendar is currently being finalized, which will highlight the core carnival period December 15th, 2023 through January 2nd, 2024.
We've been putting up a calendar for Carnival from November to January. I'm sorry, I don't think that made any sense. Because if I'm a foreigner, if I don't know anything about St. Kitts Carnival, and I look it up online, and I see stuff spreading out from November to January, I'm like, okay, so which period do I go to? And we're not eliminating everything. The Carnival period itself would be that 2-week period that we're normally accustomed to. So we're going to go from the 15th of December to the 2nd of January, 2024. But we'll still have the events and activities prior to the 15th. Just that those 2 weeks, we're calling them the Power Week of the Carnival, where we have the Calypso Monarch, National Carnival Queen. Panorama is being pushed back later than it normally is. We realize that that's a show that's growing by leaps and bounds, and so we want some of our visitors who are coming in to get an opportunity to see it live as opposed to seeing it online. We're pushing that back into the season.
Ogaro said registration forms for various carnival activities will go live in the coming weeks. The registration window for the 2023-2024 National Carnival Queen pageant closed on July 5th, according to the St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival's Facebook page.
Our National Carnival Queen contestants have already submitted, so we do have a good crop of girls, and I'm going to say that we definitely have more than we had last year, so that's a good sign. We're getting ready to do our slogan as well. We received hundreds of slogans.
On a personal note, the carnival director on the topic of slogans suggested a move away from slogans based on some of the submissions he has seen.
I don't know, maybe it's time, and this is me personally now, I'm taking off all the hats that you just had me wearing. I don't know, maybe it's time that we go away from slogans because I've read through hundreds of them. People are trying to rhyme. And because they're trying to rhyme, some of the stuff really, is not that good. But we will come up with one. We're in the process of scrutinizing and eliminating right now.
The new carnival director could not share much in the way of plans for Sugar Mass 52 prior to the official release of the calendar in the coming weeks. However, he promised some surprises for revelers and carnival goers alike. Tourism delegates from across the Caribbean are expected to visit the island of Nevis later this year to attend one of the biggest conferences organized by the Caribbean Tourism Organization. On Tuesday, July 11th, 2023, the Caribbean's leading tourism body confirmed that the island of Nevis will host the 10th Tourism Human Resources Conference over 3 days from October 30th through November 1st, 2023. The theme of the event is Navigating the Next Phase of Caribbean Tourism, focusing on talent and technology 2024 and beyond. According to the CTO, the conference will, quote, provide insight on how human resource development can be optimally leveraged to support the growth, development, innovation, and competitiveness of the Caribbean tourism sector, end quote. The questions to be discussed are, how will technology continue to transform the labor landscape? Is the sector strategic in its workforce planning and development? Is there any strong business case being built for investing in talent to meet future workforce needs? How can a balance be struck and optimism achieved between artificial intelligence and humans? Have there been major disruptions in jobs and skills, and what do we do about it? According to the CTO, the conference will consist of keynote addresses, followed by executive insight sessions, panel discussions, a students' forum, a health and wellness session, and 2 master classes. The Caribbean Tourism Organization first slated the 10th Tourism Human Resources Conference for May 2020 in Nevis, but was forced to postpone it until November that same year due to the constantly changing nature of the coronavirus. Recognizing the severity of what had been designated as the COVID-19 pandemic and the implementation of precautionary measures by global leaders, the Nevis Island Administration and the Caribbean Tourism Organization thought that the best course of action was to postpone the event again. The Caribbean Tourism Organization has since reported that the region recovered almost 90% of its 2019 arrivals, with an anticipated growth in 2023 of about 10% to 15% over 2022. In regional news, St. Lucia's 2.5% health and security levy will come into effect on August 2nd, despite opposition calls for it to be scrapped. DBS St. Lucia reports.
One of the bills down for consideration at Tuesday's parliamentary proceedings was the Health and Citizen Security Levy, which will see a 2.5% increase on certain items, excluding food, health, some building materials, medication, and security equipment. The levy, which was supposed to come into effect at the start of July, got postponed to August. According to Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre, the rationale for the delay was to have adequate consultation with various sectors to ensure smooth rollout of the initiative.
Any item that was on the exempt or zero-rated group as far as VAT is concerned, there is no levy on it. Further, we've added more goods into the basket. And today you're going to hear some of the goods we've added. The levy is our contribution to health and security. We are moving back into universal health care. We need more resources for the police. We need more bodies in the police force. We are building basically 2 new stations. We are building a Hall of Justice. We need to fund it. We have to find ways and means of funding our development. The people who are speaking about it, none of them can give you one way, one idea as to how you raise revenue for health and security.
Health Minister Moses Baptiste says he welcomes the new levy to alleviate some of the hardships currently experienced in the health sector, particularly regarding the prospects of universal health coverage.
Well, today we go to Parliament to seek the approval of Parliament for the 2.5% levy for health and security. And in the budget, in the Prime Minister's budget statement, he did speak to progress in the implementation of universal health coverage. And we said before that we are implementing universal health coverage in a phased way. We know that the complete implementation of, the full implementation of universal health coverage requires sustainable financing of universal health coverage. And we are now speaking to both local and World Bank and other consultants, whether it's the Pan American Health Organization and others, who are assisting us, the World Bank and so on, to finalize a financing model for universal health coverage moving forward.
Commerce Minister Emma Hippolyte reassured the public that the zero-rated VAT items will not attract this new levy, and an expanded list will see the marginalized or society seemingly unaffected.
Even when the St. Lucia Labour Party administration introduced VAT in St. Lucia, there was an extensive list of items that were either VAT exempt or zero rated. And that was because we wanted to take into consideration the plight of all St. Lucians to ensure that they could purchase food on the table. And now what we have done, and if you listen to the list of measures that the Honourable Prime Minister presented in the budget, it is all focused on, one, assisting St. Lucians during this difficult period, but secondly, as well, is to provide a boost to spur the economy forward. So we are trying to do 2 things at the same time. And at the same time, we are bringing in universal health care. And that is the basis for the 2.5% levy.
The levy is set to come into effect on August 2nd, 2023. For the DBS News World, Jason Narius reporting.
We now bring you these international reports.
A wave of xenophobic violence has exploded in the Tunisian city of Sfax after the fatal stabbing of a local man during an altercation with migrants. The backlash saw 25 people hospitalized after a group of masked men took to the street, beating immigrants with stones and sticks. The authorities have since forcibly deported more than 1,000 migrants from the city, taking them to the Tunisian borders. From the southern coastal city of Sfax, Bassam Buneni reports.
Suffering from heat stroke, dehydration and exhaustion, many are still carrying injuries from the wave of violence, which only days before drove them from their homes.
I spent 4 days here.
because I don't have place to stay. I don't feel like I'm a human for now. I used to sleep here with my family, so I'm so tired. I just feel like give up.
The scene last week. Violence in the streets of Sfax. We don't want them living here, screams one man. Long live Tunisia, long live Sfax. Sfax is not a refugee camp, says another.
After days of tensions that reflected the surge of an anti-migrant sentiment, the Tunisian coastal city of Sfax will never be the same again. Migrants are gathering here in the city center to look for a way out. But their ordeal could be exacerbated as long as the Tunisian government hasn't managed to come up with a solution that preserves their dignity.
Days before the attacks in Sfax, locals say toxic hate against black African migrants was surging online.
There was a wave of racist videos on social media. I was seeing such disgusting posts, so I was sure an upsurge of anger was about to happen.
In the past week, the authorities say they have removed 1,200 migrants from Sfax, driven to the Algerian and Libyan borders. The president says they are being cared for. But videos from the Libyan border, filmed by the migrants, show some with open wounds. The migrants are no closer to finding somewhere to call home, and the authorities far from a solution. Bassam Bounini, BBC News, Sfax, Tunisia.
President Zelensky has accused NATO of weakness and uncertainty over the reluctance of some members to set a timetable for Ukraine to join the military alliance. NATO leaders meeting in Lithuania have agreed that Ukraine can join, but only when certain conditions are met. NATO's Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg said the alliance had never sent a stronger political and practical message about Ukraine's path to membership, but made clear it could not join while it was at war with Russia. Our Europe editor Katya Adler sent this report from the summit in Vilnius.
Disappointed, Volodymyr Zelensky put on a brave face for supporters in the Lithuanian capital.
I came here today believing in partners, in a NATO that does not waste time. Ukraine will make NATO stronger. NATO will make Ukraine safer.
A very different tone from his tweet earlier in the day, when he blasted the military alliance as absurd and weak for not agreeing a timetable for Kyiv to join the club. As confirmed by NATO's Secretary-General.
The invitation will be issued when conditions are met.
This is not the picture of absolute unity NATO was hoping for at its summit, which leaders here know Vladimir Putin is watching closely from Moscow. Ukraine today, ravaged by war a year and a half into Russia's full-scale invasion, fighting to keep its independence and defend wider European security, it says. Arriving in Vilnius for the NATO summit, the Prime Minister said all allies should up defence spending.
Priorities for this summit are to strengthen that alliance so that we can face the threats of the future and protect ourselves adequately against them, but also to continue supporting Ukraine.
The government has announced a big increase in production of NATO standard artillery shells in the UK. Ukraine needs the tools to push Russia back. Kyiv is grateful, but wants more. What Ukraine wants is a seat at NATO's table, membership of the club. And why? Because of NATO's mutual defence clause, which means an attack against one member is seen as an attack against all of them. After a ceasefire, says Kyiv, that's the way to stop Moscow ever thinking of invading again. But here, NATO allies are divided. Baltic states, like Lithuania, hosting today's summit, border Russia and fear it. Ukraine should join NATO sooner rather than later, they all say.
We also owe it to the Ukrainians because they are fighting there so that the British, Estonians, Americans don't have to fight with Russia.
But the US and Germany are more hesitant. They fear direct conflict with Russia if Ukraine joins NATO anytime soon.
This is not a competition. Who is at what moment at what point? The most important thing is that we are all increasing our military support for Ukraine.
Tonight, Ukraine's president was given a seat at NATO's table, for dinner at least. The spat over membership aside, this relationship is close. Katya Adler, BBC News, Vilnius.
Let's speak now to our security correspondent, Gordon Carrera, who's in the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, for us. And Gordon, what will be the reaction in Ukraine to the summit, and what does it mean for the war?
Well, Ukraine has been knocking at NATO's door for years now, asking to join. And what you heard today was President Zelensky effectively pounding on it, asking to be let in on his way to the summit, saying it would be absurd not to be given a timetable. Now, that would appear to be a way of putting some last-minute pressure on those NATO leaders, but he didn't get what he wanted. There was a step forward, but no absolute commitment. Now, I think Ukraine is being careful not to sound too disappointed or too angry. After all, they need NATO. They need that continued supply of weapons from NATO for their counter-offensive. But weapons are not enough, they believe. They need the kind of security guarantees they could get from NATO. They're worried about ambiguity. One Ukrainian MP said to me, Russia understands the language of force. What they heard from that NATO statement today was the language of hesitation. And so I think the concern is that the weapons and the patience of allies could run dry, and that the only thing that will protect Ukraine is not knocking at the door, but being let into the NATO club.
North Korea conducted a missile test with its longest ever flight time on Wednesday. The missile flew for 74 minutes and just over 600 miles before falling into the sea, around 150 miles west of Japan's Hokkaido. That's according to Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno, who strongly condemned the launch.
North Korea's series of actions, including its repeated ballistic missile launches, threaten the peace and security of Japan's region and the international community and are absolutely unacceptable. Moreover, such ballistic missile launches violate relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions and are a serious security issue for our citizens. We've lodged a strong protest against North Korea through our embassy in Beijing.
Hirokazu said Japan believes the rocket was an intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM. The North test-fired its first ever solid-fuel ICBM in April. Analysts believe they can fly far enough to strike targets anywhere in the United States, and that the country has likely developed nuclear warheads that can fit on rockets. The launch follows heated complaints by the North in recent days, including accusing American spy planes of violating its airspace, and comes ahead of an expected Wednesday meeting between leaders of South Korea and Japan at a NATO summit to discuss threats, including the nuclear-armed North.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines: use of cell phones is a contributing factor to low-quality customer service on the island of Nevis, says Minister Brand. Sugar Mass 52 calendar expected soon. Carnival director says stakeholder meetings to start shortly. Nevis to host Caribbean Tourism Organization's 10th Tourism Human Resources Conference. St. Lucia's 2.5% health and security levy will come into effect on August 2nd, despite opposition calls for it to be scrapped. Internationally, migrants in Tunisia have been attacked after the fatal stabbing of a 41-year-old local man during an altercation with several migrants from sub-Saharan Africa. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Caribou.
Did you you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's 12:35. Your weather is coming up next, and today's temperature is 88 degrees. I'm going to give you a little more details right after we hear from our sponsor, Colpot.
Never before have you gotten a chance to choose exactly what you would like to eat. At the Colpot, you have that option. Choose the type of grain you prefer, either brown or basmati rice, quinoa, couscous, mashed breadfruit, or bulgur. Choose your protein. You can also choose your sauce preference to complement your protein, teriyaki, curry, barbecue, or tomato. We also have vegetarian and cheese pizzas, chickpea burgers made from scratch, veggie wraps, wedges, vegan banana bread, the largest variety of local juices, and our signature Colpot iced tea. I tell soup every Saturday. Get your order delivered at colpottogo.com. The Colpot, located in Shadwell, nicely nestled in nature. Call us at 669-6005.
And here's a synopsis of today's weather. As the axis of the tropical wave moves westwards and away from the leewards, gradual improving conditions and a reduction in shower activity is anticipated by later this afternoon. Meanwhile, a reduction in wind will result in improving marine conditions around the islands. So today's weather, mostly cloudy with brief showers mixed with lighter rain, with a chance of showers decreasing by this afternoon. Tonight's weather, decreasing clouds and a 40% or moderate chance of showers. Winds at present east at 17 to 31 kilometers per hour or 10 to 20 miles per hour. Seas, you can refer to www.antiguamet.com. That's for fishermen and those who are going to be venturing seawards. Go to www.antiguamet.com/marine.html for marine products relevant to your island territory and further marine weather information. Sunset today is 6:49 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:44 a.m. and this weather report is valid until tomorrow at 8 a.m. So once again, today's temperature 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And the weather brought to you by Coal Pot.
Have you gotten a chance to choose exactly what you would like to eat? At the Coal Pot, you have that option. Choose the type of grain you prefer, either brown or basmati rice, quinoa, couscous, mashed breadfruit, or bulgur. Choose your protein. You can also choose your sauce preference to complement your protein: teriyaki, curry, barbecue, or tomato. We also have vegetarian and cheese pizzas, chickpea burgers made from scratch, veggie wraps, wedges, vegan banana bread, the largest variety of local juices, and our signature Coal Pot iced tea. I tell soup every Saturday. Get your order delivered at coalpottogo.com. The Coal Pot, located in Shadwell, nicely nestled in nature. Call us at 669-6005.
Found the sound. 98.9 FM.
It's 12:42 and we're back for the remaining segment of Voices. It's brought to you by Hosford. We're going to get a word from Hosford and we're going to come back. and set it off.
Get ready for the biggest sales event of the year. It's the Horswood Furniture and Appliances major sales event, where we're slashing prices by 20% off on all major appliances. Are you looking for amazing deals on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and even microwaves? Well, look no further. From the latest models to top brands, Horswood Furniture and Appliances has it all at unbeatable prices. Whether you're upgrading your kitchen or replacing old appliances, this is the perfect opportunity to get major savings and save big. These deals won't last forever. This is a limited time opportunity to snag the appliance of your dreams at 20% off and get double cashback coupons with every purchase. Don't miss out. The Horswood Furniture and Appliances major appliances sales event, where quality meets affordability. Don't miss out on the biggest discounts on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and microwaves. Hurry in today and make your home a major delight. Major savings, major discounts, 20% off on major appliances, plus double cashback for free groceries. Happening now at Horswood Furniture and Appliances. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
And we're back on Voices, and with no further ado, we go straight back to the phone lines. Voices, you're on. Okay. We did have some callers coming in. Oh, okay, so let's go back to the phone lines. Voices, you're on.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you? How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I ain't a place for government must help people. I ain't said they ain't supposed to, no, but let me tell you, we're going to run this country like the South of Venezuela was up and running good, eh? And to the people there, the citizens there just leaning on the government, give them this, give them that, give them thorough. I could recall when people used to live from here, so they go in Venezuela, go shop, you know, buy nice things, come back up, come sell. So like they plea and about the government must give them that and government must give them this. Right, at the end of the day, all of we will feel the squeeze. They say now the wages must go up. Yeah, but do they say we are putting it up yet? Because you can talk about it, yes, but if you see a way of doing it, right? If they see a way of doing it, they could do it, but if they're not, and when they do it, I hope they ain't bringing a double salary, you know, because what happened, all that going to be just breaking down the government purse. So I don't know, everybody wants this government, do that. When Christmas, I mean, you're a reporter, I'm sure you tell you to go down there with your camera.
No, I'm not a reporter, actually. I'm not.
Okay, you know, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I show you know, when you hear people that say 5 o'clock, they don't know in the morning, you know, mine, nobody say government must, but how much government, so you give old people something, you give the pop and the stop and the so much when they want them to give them the whole country. And when they give them the whole country, and what we going to do? Eat bush? Mr. Bratcher really dead because I could recall here, Devon, I used to just live a little $2, which was just $10, and if you go work where you work late and you reach late, you give 9. And see me till today, and me never to go to a government, nobody to ask them nothing, how I survive. You had mango, you got breadfruit, you got green banana. Yeah, all kind of things that was planned for you to survive. You can't eat them all off. I know a skinny time, you got skinny pin go low. This you had barefoot, you get your milk, right? $1 a bottle, half of 50 cents. Then he went up a little bit, he went in there down with barefoot. I don't know what I'm to us, you know. Let they drive up a thing and say, oh, he could afford me, and yeah. And then when they show the country now, I hope the minister of government never take stock, you know. Okay, if we want them to build new hospital, we want them to go for a new school. Where you have to get your money still give the citizens of the state. To people, eh? We just get nobody else. Oh, no more people don't sacrifice. People got to run from me here, go all the curious, just to make sacrament. Send back a little barrel now and again to their family back here. You know? Now with school holidays, when school going out, him they got to cut them down and all. I mean, I'm to this gig, you know. I believe we got too much at gig. Me and Miss Henry who good in she mats and so I said they could do it. What happened to them? Let us say what they got, you know, I say on Facebook, a gentleman tell the lady, well, you know, help me out because I have a problem with me sickness and I got to get the money from social. She still I say, oh, bring me money still. The man only tell her give me a little break too, you know. So long, so up, she couldn't say, okay, don't worry with this month, money, don't worry with next month. This gig, this, we got too much a giggy story, you know. And that's why our country gonna go bad, you know. Because the people them outside now, we like, get. They're gonna give us the wrong substance, and we're gonna just do it and kill one another, and that's what's gonna happen to us. Gigi, the thing up a long time, I get it because I couldn't afford it when I came back here. But after what I could afford to buy uniform, I never did go back. I just do it for a while and then I cut that out. I start to buy my child uniform out my pocket. They don't got money to fly around and we make them on Amazon. They got more things they can't get to. Some people like that buy a trowel. So I see them do on Amazon. Let the government loan and let him left the money that to give even though we're hungry. Right? And things could be better. Though we in him now, we in hurricane season. We in him now, if we get a bad hurricane, the country mash up and work the shut down. Whoever had their work, the store here, they run back out the country. They got to the government, got to find something to give them people. Like. People are dying so far, some people are dying of young children. It's up by the government, they're gonna. Tell them, can you help me because we were. And when you see them in town, some of them, they fingernail long, they run from you to the States, and they hair long from you to Germany, and they eyelash long from you to I don't keep no. So I don't know what to do them. Some of them waste the money, some of them take money and they don't really want the money. You know, somebody they say I get the money, they're so glad they move on from this book or put them on them. Because they don't want to see that the people them can't see. The people them know to cyberspace your bank account if they want. But they won't tell you because that is not for them to bring it out. I don't know what happened to them. And I'm more in see how Venezuela been on. Yeah, they run a come on. Yeah, they run a come. That wasn't in the wild start. They come sink it. I used to go down the road to them here. So they better know what they are doing. They better know what they are doing about government. And when again, well, you can't say sale time. Just you come out now, the one you want a new setup thing and say, you put on here, say you're going to, you know, put it, say you want, you're selling these things. You see much, nearly 200 people call you. I beg them to see them on here. I don't know what they don't think. We don't get ready. How much more we want get. She's on must see the ambulance. We were. Now that guy run down the country because in no country could run down. They say all of them place down there. The other Venezuela country, they name again. I can't remember them now. Them they down the poor, no Lord and mercy. And they're watching them the other day on YouTube. Well, they name there. Afghanistan. Oh Lord, I forget.
Suriname you're talking about?
It's a Spanish country too.
Oh, Spanish country. Okay.
Poor. Because the government give them so much that they can't give them no more, so they don't get children like a pig, guinea pig.
Okay, so that's it from that caller. Okay, so the phone lines are open. 46. Okay, here we go. 4660989, 662 and 7620989. Caller, go right ahead. Could you listen to your phone? Yeah, listen to your phone, please.
Yeah, how your day is going?
I'm going good.
Give thanks. How your discussion is Jamsta because I just tuned in not too long ago.
I don't understand. How do you call a show if you're not listening? That makes no sense to me.
I just said I just not long tuning, Bridget.
Yes, but I'm just saying this is something I'm surprised no one has ever commented on. I would never call a show. I would never cold call a show that I'm not listening to. That makes no sense to me. I'm just being real. I'm just being straight up.
You're going to get a variation in what you're saying, or you're going to tell me what you're saying. It's just that.
No, you can speak on any topic you want. It's just that I just find it.
You just outline my vision.
I know, but I'm also going to outline what I want to outline. I'm just saying I find it odd.
Just give you not take it from me, but you must be professional too.
I am being professional, anyway. And I'm also being forthright. I just find it odd to call a call.
What you feel,
I find it call.
But love still.
Love still. No, come on, you know me and you.
I'm not going to get it to you because you're virgin all the time.
Yeah, I like to be straight. Yeah, go ahead.
That you say that is a open mic, right?
Yeah.
So I would just like to emphasize this here.
Yeah,
we have in a situation that we need to challenge on the full court of price control, and that is serious taken when it comes to the market industry around here. You see, because there is no, we're finding that our supermarket them kind up the prices, but the wages still of our people are on a lower tone than that you've seen when we need money towards the food product that we say we're going into the supermarket that in and the local market setting. So we really have a disadvantage stage around here. And it comes like the person who said there is the Minister of Consumer Affairs ain't looking into these aspects. Because every time we hear we need to have a price control, but we still don't have a demand in this here. It's people here playing with the private sector to make private sector feel like they're better than our common man and woman. Instead, now we tell them, cook it private sector in here. Without our labor work, your money cannot devalue it without our service to your industrial prospect. So if we're going to continue letting these people continue doing us that kind of state, the government around here is ready to serve the people. I'm not afraid to say that. We are not here talking about no political party. We are talking about the betterment of our people. These young children coming out from school now with the tertiary level that they're just coming from. And it's time you see what is the betterment we can safeguard these youth, as I say, in the future. Because if we are ready to guide the future properly, it's a waste of time around here with this development I have been in.
Yeah.
We hope for the best, and I say challenge that price control as a demand, because there's a lot of stupidness going on here when it comes to this market around here. I never went to college, but I could control my mind about the economy around here, because I read a lot.
I feel you.
I'm thankful.
Okay.
You'll have a blessed day.
Okay, you too. All right, cool.
And you could tell the sister who's not along calling there, that Mama Henry, you're a good African woman, but we know it's time now we challenge this market here and a full tone. So y'all have a lovely day.
Okay, you too.
People have been suffering too long. Bless and love.
Okay, all right, great.
I give thanks.
Okay, so yeah, that's Ras weighing in. Okay, so we have 5 minutes until 1 o'clock. Let me squeeze in a break for the sponsor, and then I'll come right back.
Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback for free groceries with every hire purchase. We'll be giving back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback coupon to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horseman's Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horseman's Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this. Riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
And we are back. Man, y'all odd. Y'all call during the commercial break, and then then I come back, no calls. Okay, here's one. Voices, you're on the air.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
I heard you mention a topic this morning concerning taxation. Are you aware by the 4th of next month, we're going to be being overtaxed for 6 years? I said that to say this. When we went to borrow from the IMF, it's 17% VAT that was placed upon the people of the Federation. A percentage of it was taken and paid back into the IMF. We have already paid back the IMF. So what percentage of the 17% VAT we used to pay? We can't tell you, it was on the same said radio station in the news. When we paid off the IMF, the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Antoine, advised the Prime Minister to go into agriculture. The then Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Alan Chassanet, did likewise. He didn't take on none of them because then we don't pay off the IMF. And that's now ain't a burden on our shoulders. That's one of the major reasons why you see poverty is running rampant right now in our federation because our agriculture. First we had something called SIRO. I can't recall what SIRO this stand for. But could I recall what NACO this stand for?
I know it was sugar.
National Agriculture
I
Corporation.
actually know that. Sugar Industry Rescue
But then
Operation.
it went back to SSMC.
Yeah.
So you know what SIRO stand for S full stop. O?
Yeah, I just said it. Sugar Industry Rescue Operation.
Oh, you better took it from sugar to NACO, which is National Agriculture. Then they take it back from NACO and put it back into sugar again. Troy Flanders was on the radio just this morning, and he was speaking of land preparations. But let me know, the man, because land preparation, my farm doesn't require that. It may show load me how. I got drip lines and all these things on my farm. I want to know why is it. Hello? I want to know why is it, right? I can't do farming just like the military agriculture. X amount of cattle coming up here daily, destroying me drip lines, matching up my whole thing up here, and it's like the man, I'll tell you the truth, right? It's over a mile of pipes. I had to invest to get water on my mountain ground. Then that's just a small part of it. Then yesterday, not only to be hearing from the Director of Agriculture come telling me I can't get a correspondence from them concerning money. The last time I had any kind of connection with them was the 20th of October of last year, when the extension officer came up here and wrote up a proposal, a appraisal of damages that took place on my farm. Now they're supposed to telling me they want to give me something and I don't know when. And it's like, me can't live to that day. Because I'll tell you something, Jamsta. Farming has something to call planting, right? Land preparation will take a time. We are now by this weekend, in the middle of July. In the next month, August. If we, the farmers, don't plant at a certain point in time, we can't make the money for the end of the year. We ain't then going to go plant in a kind of something called a glut, cucumber and okra. Then I'm going to say, the farmers plant everything one time. I tell you from since October last year, I was to a meeting with and I tell you something, we call him for he and the acting permanent secretary, because them they can't run this thing. Nathaniel France, William Ferdinand with NACO. It's like they run this thing, me talking, me can't go out. I don't have hot peppers living right up here. We start to be president now. We're in Canada. Ask them what happened between Denzel Douglas and Timothy Harris, who had not in one pepper tree, one the most money. And because they stand up for NACO and stand up for the reedy farmers, I've been victimized ever since then. They don't call me to off from labor too. Hey, Jamsta.
Yeah.
I said something to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to divide from that could get me winning price. Because this is what I'm dealing with my farm, right?
Yeah.
My winning price could kind of put me, that body man, that like $1 billion, I was sitting down talking to this man. His money he's talking about here. And his money I working to get here. Respect, man. Good afternoon.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay, folks. Keep the calls coming. 466-0989, 662-0989, and 762-0989. But I should also, that reminds me that we had a caller earlier saying that the 762 line doesn't seem to be working. So I'm going to have management take a look at that. We can have Digital come and take a look at that line. Voices, you're on.
Greeting again, I sir.
Hey, what's up?
Long, the line they want to talk about now work. You know, just work chicks, watchers, subgenal people. You know, who's the management right now?
Management of where?
No, the radio station me talk about. Yeah, man, watcher, no go around me. Anyhow, come out for that. You know, always we say that it is very important for us to collectively acknowledge that there's a conspiracy not for we to be millionaires, you know. Farmers may talk about wrong food farmers. But they'll plant food to eat or they plant ganja, whatever. I think that come from there. So it's the sooner we acknowledge that and put that conspire blind to fly by any means, the better. And even if it means taking the sector out of the hands of government, you know, it don't have to be. It is, but it don't have to be. And what the others say, by any means necessary, we must accomplish what we ought to accomplish as farmers and be in the position that we ought to be in, you know. Yeah. You know, the price control thing, it'll go on. But it ain't only on the shelf, it's from the ground too. And we will allow for farmers to even have farmers also to have discretion on their prices also, you know. We know what's going on, we know the struggle, but Bob done sing and say, and we can echo it because, you know, we can make them have us this way. You know, so and so, your brother got to be your enemy, you know. You have so and so to so and so. You better we do it to them and do it. If we're going to do it. You know, the culprits and the accomplices, but not to each other. We need healing and we need to have that touchable unison as a people, otherwise being overcome the struggles that we are facing. You know, okay. Enough said there, so. The creative industry, we listen, we would like to be present in the physical, but we just hear theoretically and we listen some songs and we hear songs make say every nook and cranny and our constituency. Well, people like me invisible then. People like me dwelling within invisibility. Me is a professional hand drummer. Yeah? Me is a poet and me is a songwriter. And no somebody approach me. Not even one song to say, well, okay, we acknowledge you, we song get to you. Nothing like that. 68 square miles. Up to 1,000 people. We live in Jamaica, we got in millions of people. And they acknowledge me as a writer, as a drummer. Carry me on stage. They got me on radio. IWFM, hottest radio in Jamaica, prime time, doing poetry. When Marcus Garvey bought they come around or whatever, I see lies from each road. Think it's when we born. You know, when me listen, the minister talk about every nook and cranny. And the director and that every constituency that did this and they did that. Hey, me blood run cool. I mean, no, I am not the only one in this. As we were saying, we don't like the venue. The venue is not central. Most of the creativity, although we have creativity coming from upper and middle class, We have creativity, I know, in the low class. As a we in the kitchen, I feel the heat. And Bob Marley Brown say, he started out crying. We are more than entertainers, Yeah, man. We are the voices and the movements of the voiceless and those who can't move. Our dancing is part of it, drumming, dancing, everything. Creativity. Maybe this morning, me hear the try name, make a comparison that I didn't like. He said the chapter, couple million, 1 point something million, and one artist will get that money. It may be so. But you see, creativity, by brother Troy, priceless. Me talk the other day, so them got to be 40th anniversary and I give somebody $1,500 for writing something. Foolishness, insult. Creativity priceless. Me as a poet, me always tell people the best of me is still inside of me because it's all about what it's all about, It's a creative vibration and enough people can do it. And people who doing it, we have to embrace them and see them as we ought to see them and don't watch their pocket and what they get. But Marley, they make a sound say money. No, see how the money are running in. He wasn't even watching money, just focusing on what he's doing, the message he's putting out, his writing skills, everything. And he sees his surroundings, because he had to run out the back of wall, and trench tongue, and run go bull bay,
Mm-hmm.
That Jamaica red, And all show that get gunshot, trying to bring friction and politics together, get gunshot. Yeah, give thanks to the time, I say.
Yes, give
Blessed
thanks
luck.
every time, yeah. Okay, that's... Yes, okay, so keep the calls coming. We have 8 minutes after 1. Keep the calls coming. And as we go back to the phone lines. Voices, you're on the air.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yeah. Any reduction in taxes is good, I would think, right? It certainly would be a welcome relief certainly to people who have to pay high prices on anything. But I want to endorse what Mrs. Henry says. I mean, she's been at this for a while, and I totally agree with her, that we need to do better with our planning and stop dealing with problems in an ad hoc kind of way, right? Successive governments have been doing that. I hope this one don't make the same mistake. It's like just trying to put out fires as soon as the cops. People scream hard enough. They do a little stuff there, here, and there to quell that, rather than looking at things in a long-term way. For example, Carl this morning spoke about the bus stop. And he's absolutely right. The St. Peter's bus stop should have been down at the Bay Road. There should have been a Grand Central terminal, so to speak, so that you can go anywhere in the Federation, whether it's Nevis.
Yeah, that's
right,
that's a good
anywhere.
point. Which is why you heard my response. Yeah, so
right.
I had never even thought of it that way until he said it. Yeah, because my thing about the landfill was more about parking to encourage people to use the market. But to his point, that could work. Absolutely.
Yeah. As for the market and parking, really and truly, and engineers could do this easily.
Yeah.
There should be multi-story parking place over the market.
Yes, I thought about that. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
And we missed an opportunity when we were dredging for the new pier. We could have extended Port Zante, If you look at the other countries in the region are updating their ports, their frontage.
Yeah.
Okay? You look at ours. I passed down there this morning. There's a big cruise ship in. And I drove across the Bay Road. And it's disgusting. It's time that we do something about that it's one of our main ports of entry.
And the funny thing is, when Cal said what he said, what it made me think of, I think I alluded to it too, is I was thinking, I always thought, when I did the thought experiment about doing the landfill in front of the market, it occurred to me that it would pose a problem for the ferries, but then I realized you could orient the ferries differently. The ferries can go parallel along the Bay Road as opposed to perpendicular along the pier.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Because if you do the landfill, you're going to be taking up land, but then the ferries can now be not only perpendicular. I guess the perpendicular part will be mostly on the east, and then parallel to the Bay Road on the west, going down.
Well, if you extend it, if you reclaim the land anyway,
you
have a lot more space for it to be parallel to the
exactly.
The Bay Road,
And
right?
then so you have
but
the bus
like
terminal.
Said,
you get out the boat and you go
planning,
straight to the bus. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's planning. It's long-term planning that nobody seems to be indulging in, right?
Yeah.
And with regards to farming too, you would think if it's going to be a priority, that they'd throw everything at it: investments, subsidies, concessions. I mean, I like how Troy dealt with the problems. You see how he brings individual problems.
Yes.
Okay. There's absolutely no. You wonder why can't government be nimble enough to deal with these issues, so that because to me, I mean, those things are so obvious. I don't know what. I suppose there may be other problems I'm not seeing, which they see. But I think in a lot of cases it's just pure laziness, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations, by the way, on getting the CEO of a major company in on your program in the morning. I don't know who's responsible for it.
Yes.
Usually, those big shots send out their marketing people and the PR people, right? But he came himself.
I hope maybe he didn't think I was rude with what I said, but
well,
I don't really care. It had to be
company.
said. It had to be said.
It's a public company. I was hoping that you'd ask him what they're doing with that major piece of real estate right smack in the center of town. That is the parking lot on Bank Street.
Yeah.
I think that's left to be developed to really make the whole.
But then though, Ira, you don't think that should just stay as parking, because we're just going to compound the problem if we go on. We do need some parking.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I don't think do the same.
I don't think it's any loss
like
to them.
What you're thinking about with the market,
but I don't
whereby
think
you leave the retail sections and so on underneath, but go up. I don't know if they have enough space to go up and build a multiple parking lot as well.
Because you realize you need a certain footprint for multi-story parking, because you have to take the ramping into consideration.
Ramp to go up.
Yes.
Upstairs the market can do it. I'm not sure the one.
You think that footprint is big enough? You think the market footprint is big enough for that?
Yeah, I think the market footprint is big enough. It's bigger than the TDC parking lot.
Okay,
the TDC parking lot might be a bit narrow. I think the market footprint is
big enough.
Big enough.
All right. I always wondered about that one.
Really and truly though, I mean, it's really high time we do better with our planning. And by the way, I support, was it your Candice's view about the weighty ministries like health and national security and finance? They should be attended by one minister, so that they receive laser-like focus.
I agree. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if they're going to be assigned to the prime minister, as they currently are, who by necessity has to travel for various reasons, then what should be done is appoint some junior ministers in those areas, those key areas. Okay, because just to have always have oversight and not just deal with overall policy, but the details of management, right? I mean, there's been precedent for this. I don't know if you remember late Richard Keynes being the junior minister of finance, and
by our reports,
he became
probably the best finance minister we've ever had.
Well, he became notorious for micromanaging, so much so that they called him Take the Keys Minister.
Yeah,
I don't know if you recall that.
I remember reading that in the
he went
newspaper
around
as a
taking
kid.
keys
Yeah.
if he felt that government vehicles were being abused. But it worked well. I mean, he definitely kept an eye on expenditure and controls and that. And so, I mean, the government now might be reluctant to do the same. For one reason, for one thing, it might appear like duplication of effort. But I think rather than have so many advisors in different areas, appoint them as junior ministers. I mean, they have the expertise and so on in their particular areas. Put them as junior ministers or ZAs or whatever you want to call them.
Oh,
so
like the U.S. model where you say deputy secretary, deputy minister for that.
Right,
you know,
those kinds of things.
Yeah.
You know,
Assistant secretary.
because one thing about when you have like advisors and then permanent secretaries, etc., what you probably have is them tripping over each other and conflict, unnecessary conflict and so on, right? So
and trying to win the favor of the minister.
Right, exactly. Yes. You know, so you know, it could try things like those. I mean, the 1 year anniversary is coming up shortly. It probably might be an opportune time to do some reshuffling. Well, not so much a cabinet reshuffle as do some rearranging and looking at how things went and making necessary adjustments. Like I said, the appointment was kind of appointments. You know, there's an opportune time to do it, and let's see.
And I still think the Prime Minister needs a junior Minister of Finance, like someone. I mean, we have a professor here who's his home for vacation. He teaches at a school, North Carolina University, I think. Teaches finance. He's been doing Money Matters. You know the guy who's been doing Money Matters.
Oh yes.
So
right,
just for argument's sake, that's an example of someone, someone with good fiscal chops, who knows tax policy, economics, knows accounting,
and
kind of
importantly would always be on the ground to deal with any problems that pop up.
Exactly.
You know? Because things are always happening in some area, and if you're not there on the ground to deal with it, or you leave it to somebody else who have other responsibilities themselves, it probably won't get done. And there are too many areas like that at the moment.
And
the agricultural thing showed that, and the water problem that should not be at this time. That should not be happening. Sorry.
I agree.
It really should not be happening.
I agree.
You know, and I think it's all in the administration and management of things. I mean, you can find all kinds of excuses why it's like this, but honestly, for something like water, that should have been.
Yeah, I agree.
It lays a focus on improving that in months, not years. Yeah.
Actually, great. I'll go straight to another call. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hey, what's up?
I'm good. And agriculture.
Yeah, go ahead.
The thing about agriculture, the problem with agriculture is the ministry, all ministries. Now, the government, and embarking on a 25% reduction in import, have one tractor to service the entire island. You got maybe about 600 registered farmers. The cost of 4 tractors is less than an entourage to what you call the place where Dubai.
What's that?
What?
Oh my God!
Go ahead.
They can take a fraction of the money that they spend on each other on these dry rides, because most of these dry rides, they never bring back anything of substance to say, well, the purpose of the trip, here's the result. There's never anything. We are about to talk with a visit somewhere, and that's about it. You need 4 chapters, divided the country in zones. You have 4 zones. This tractor for this area. This one for this. And then, a caller a while ago mentioned the reduction in food, local food produced. What the caller is not aware of is the government role in the high prices of local produce. Every time, actually, the Ministry of Agriculture is run as any other commercial business. And the markup supersede TDC. I go to TDC. I buy something for TDC for $200. The government is selling the same thing for $190. But at TDC, I get a 15 or 20% discount. I am going to pay at TDC 20%, 200 is what, $40?
$40, yeah.
It means the cost of the thing is not 200, is now for the farmer $160 when the government selling it for $190. The fertilizer, that is experiment that we get in as donation from the Kingdom of Morocco. The government ain't seen prudent that they could reduce the cost of sweet potato by doing likewise as the government of Morocco and distributing freely to the farmers the fertilizer that was donated. It is, I don't know if there's any bigger fraud of any kind than selling the donation when one country see it fitting to assist your country by donating fertilizer. Now me the recipient decide to begrudge myself and sell it. If they could reduce the price or even stabilize the cost of farm supply, then the government cannot tell Hartford, Ballymat to reduce the cost of potato or reduce the cost of macaroni. But what they could do, the government could reduce the cost of sweet potato. The government could reduce the cost of cabbage. The government could reduce the cost. A pack of cucumber seed is $200. The government could reduce the cost of local produce by they stabilizing the cost of the supplies. Every time a new anything come, the price gone up $40. The farmer still selling the food for $1.50 a pound. Is the cost of production is way too high. People got to like farming when all the charade they got, when they got opening there in the public market. You think it's local produce? A fraction of it is. The people go buy rams, buy carrots, sweet potato, yam, dashi, cabbage. They buy everything, onion and everything from rams, and go and sell it back.
Yeah.
Hey, no, the local market, you know what is on the going to public market any Saturday, and you can access the local market any Saturday. When they got the vending thing, it's a vending thing. Most of the vendors are not local people. They need to make a money. The government hit on the government payday. They would have a market, a night market. So the farmers, the real farmers, when they go in on Saturday, nobody there to buy. The government on the eve before Christmas Eve, go and get a market. Independence coming, you can write on a calendar the days and the dates when the government go and get a vendor show to say this is a result of growth in agriculture. Is that garbage? Have a good day.
Okay, caller. Yeah, the agriculture thing has been a constant source of frustration and, spleen directed at successive governments with no real redress to show for it. Voices, you're on the air.
Yes, bless. Greeting.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Virgin. Sometimes I don't like to listen to the airwave, because we all are one people. We say we trying to come together, right? This argument over farming, but all them white men in America and so most of them have their own tractor, After demands on how much farmers are going to think, these farmers think can get their own tractor. We need to just grow up and seriously tackle this thing, Stop come on and
but wait. I agree with you, but then remember we have this recurring discussion about
we talk about
no
wait.
wait.
Let me tell you this. We doing here is stifling the leaders them. We need to build our leaders them. We too hypocritical. We just blind men. As long as they put this person,
but shouldn't But shouldn't we build the leader? Shouldn't the leaders build the people as well? Build the nation as well?
Yes, but how we dealing with people? How I see it? The argument about farming. These grown farmers, farming over the years. They know the cost, they know the problem, they know the in and the out. But they stay just complaining like a bunch. Black people is the most divided people, and we like it so.
But caller, you're characterizing them complaining about reasonable shortcomings in the agricultural architecture in the country, and you're attributing it to politics. Can't it be that? No, but can't it be? No, but can't it be that objectively something is wrong?
Watch here. The earth is the land of the fullness. We need to go to the earth and stop relying on man. We go to the earth and ask the Lord to help us and stop calling people. These leaders, I just see this thing. Look out here as a farmer for years. I got a load of food trees plant. Or you going to arc and struggle, something and nothing. I call abuse the body.
No, but okay. Caller, I understand. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
How they attack on the radio, we can carry it away. You just keep them thing and
but wait.
Low, man. They're powerful, low there.
Okay. We see the point I wanted to make was that you heard Troy Flanders this morning. He brought some juices. He brought an imported sorrel, right? That was a very astute thing he did this morning, actually. And he brought some what's the lady's name? Mother Becky's quenchers, I think. Yeah. And there was a sorrel, so he said, well, the imported sorrel is $5, and the Mother Becky's sorrel costs more, because even before you put the drink, it's already over $5, like $5.50 or something. Let me take one more call. Caller, go right ahead.
Thanks for taking the call.
Yes.
We see, and we want to really rub it in the need for right faces to be in right places. You can avoid a whole heap of things.
I hope I'm right. I hope I'm a right place, a right face in a right place.
I
said I hope I'm a right face in a right place. I hope I meet with your approval.
You're good, man. You're good.
I'm just provoking you. I'm just teasing you. Yeah,
go ahead. Extent. Well, listen to me now. quickly, let me just hold it. My brethren, I want you to know that I'm very much aware of the situation, as the brethren just said a while ago. I was going through struggles. But I said what I, before I said what I said, I say I know the system and what it is, which entails what we are going through. But I've gone back to Bob again. He thinks, don't make the system make you kill a brother, man. It's a system. We know that people running the system. I plant a couple. We plant a couple bags of sweet potato, and we get about 500, 600 pounds. We give it about half give it, or more, and they will sell for $2, $50 a pound. All when prices was up there. We watch here. Watch here, man. We cannot occupy ourselves as farmers, occupy ourselves, putting in money in that kind of way. Before watch bigger money. I've noticed we ain't got no money. Hey, we are so small as farmers, man. Before watch meals. We watch money coming in from all outside and give me food in the Federation. Give me food. The way what brothers do and others. Give me food. The people eat yam food. And the money coming in by the meals coming from else place. And this will be free. Every farmer got a tractor, the virgin just say. Hey, we too little man in my thoughts, man, before up. Yes. Your continental people, you know, not because we still in these plantations, you have 68 square mile, 32 square mile, blah, 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 square mile. We come from a continent, the cradle of civilization. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, that's the last call now. Eli's call dovetailed with the caller before's call where he was talking about the tractor problem. Now, the thing that I keep saying is that I'm gonna wrap up like this. I agree with the caller that probably the farmers need to have their own tractors, but tractors are expensive. Ergo, the government needs to revisit its subsidization and incentivization policies. They need to be turbocharged because a tractor is not cheap. So it means that the government, and then like I was talking about Troy and the juices, the value added processing that goes on here with our agricultural produce. The local juice is much more expensive than the imported juice, and Troy mentioned the VAT, the VAT that they have to pay to bring in the bottles and stuff like that. So just like they do in those big countries, the government is going to have to really turbocharge their incentivization and subsidization policy. If it means, okay, if the government doesn't have the money to buy for tractors, okay, let create an environment where the farmers can buy their own tractors and whatever it else they need for the people who need stuff, or who need to bring in bottles to process stuff, which means no VAT, no taxes whatsoever. Hey, you do that for the people in Christopher Harbor and elsewhere, so why you can't do that for the farmers? It has to be said. This nonsense needs to stop. How are you gonna tell me you have a whole enclave, 68 square mile country, Christopher Harbor, where they can do as they like over there? They just go up to the port and they drive off with stuff and they pay nothing. But where you have a tractor, a farmer needs a tractor. A tractor, I don't have no idea what tractors cost, but I'm pretty sure they're expensive. Shouldn't the farmer be allowed to bring in that tractor? Tax-free, VAT-free, everything free. What's wrong with that? It happens in other countries. Why can't it happen here? We know that we'll never be able to compete on economies of scale, which is even more reason why you need to turbocharge your subsidization policies and your incentivization policies. It means you have to go beyond what you've normally done. The end. It's 1:36. That's the end of Voices. I said what I had to say. And I want you guys to think about that in the meantime. The second half of Voices is brought to you by Hosford. So that's going to do it for Voices. Socrates is going to be back on Friday. Oh, and I meant to tell you guys earlier that Pastor Connor is going to join Socrates on Friday. So, yes, Socrates is going to join, or rather, Pastor Connor will be Socrates' guest on Friday for Voices. So that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I gave you some food for thought. And we'll continue this some other time, of course. And don't forget to join us tomorrow, me, Azad, and Candy for Island Tea tomorrow at 8. Bye. It was nice.
INN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Here are your horse